Hi, it's the 30th of October 2018 at 7 p.m. Today's background comes to you courtesy of a suggestion by DB Cooper. Thanks, DB. I don't know what you're smoking over there, but you very nearly killed me. I'm one of those guys that'll die laughing. Yeah, I watched this one and it just cracked me up. I know it's on a loop, but I just think it's the funniest thing I ever saw, and I lose consciousness. I stopped myself just in time. It's the first time it's happened in years. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to go here, and I'm by myself. Yeah, but I got out of it. I was looking a bit touch and go there for a moment. I just blank out altogether if I laugh that much, yeah. If I find something is that funny, I laugh that much. But it's good. I think, oh, well, that's healthy. I must be starting to heal. I haven't genuinely laughed, like that for a long time. Anyway, I got a comment from Free Speech day before yesterday, and Free was saying, oh, here's a video idea for you, and he gave me the address of a video he'd watched, and I was later to find out he got a bit tangled. He got into a bit of a scrap with the video maker. I'll leave a link to it in the description. It might be worth. You might decide not to go after you hear the story, but it could be worthwhile having a look. Adding a couple of comments. It was by a woman. I won't mention her name, and she was discussing things that her late father, advice that he'd given that had helped her in her life. This woman's 37, okay. And apparently when she was much younger, she had a boyfriend who was a bit of a loser. He was trying to set up in business and what have you, and he wasn't making a go of it. And he went to her for help. They were lovers or whatever. And he went to her for help. I don't know whether it was financial or just, you got the ideas of what I can do. And I think she sort of said, oh, maybe I can help. And I think she was sort of looking at financial help. But she spoke to her father, and her father was dismayed, actually. It seems that he was dismayed. And he was, he said, he actually spoke to the guy and obviously didn't think much of his chances, which is proven to be correct. Apparently the guy hasn't made it yet and may never make it. But the father, wanted to get rid of him, so he said, oh, why don't you buy this and something else? And the guy couldn't, so he left. He just sort of knew that, oh well, But what she was complaining about was the fact he was down, he was, his life was screwed, he didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do. And she told her father, and her father, made the comment that, no, a man shouldn't dump his problems on a woman. And I looked at it and I thought, I know the complexities of business. It's all well and good to think that we're all wonderful and that sort of thing. But yeah, often, and I often do it, you bite off more than you can chew. But particularly when you're younger and you don't know where you're going, and it's also important, and you've got to get that house and that car, and you've got to succeed, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do that, you've got to. When you're older, it doesn't matter. If you go, oh, if I fail, it doesn't matter. I basically failed, so it doesn't matter. But when you're young, there's all sorts of pressures on you. I understand this. And the guy is, he probably just needed to sort a lot of stuff out. That's typically what happens. And particularly, if somebody's got a clue, there's all sorts of resources on the internet, but she didn't say whether her father was an employee or a business owner. And to me, that makes a lot of difference. It'd be like me trying to tell an employee how to act. I've got no idea. I was once for a while. I was hopeless at it. But, I watched this and to be honest, I was shocked. I haven't had much to do with Western women for 4 or 5 years. And what I have had to do with has been pretty limited. It's just, usually just a short sentence, or, at best a couple of paragraphs, telling you what I've done wrong and what have you, and why I'm such a horrible person. But I listened to this woman, I was just I'm sorry, the only thing I could think was shallow. That's the only word. I just thought this is just, I guess mainly because, I don't know, I have a lot of interaction on the channel, and I know a lot of you guys are hurting, in pain, and that sort of thing, and it's not shallow. You know, but the depth of conversation is very deep here. But and she was saying things like, or her father had said, that, you know, he hadn't spent all this money educating her and bringing her up, and that, you know, she was so beautiful and everything else like that, to end up with a loser like this. Which I suppose is fair enough if he's invested all of this time and money and effort in, you know, in educating his daughter, and he wants the best for her, and, you know, look, I don't know. I don't look at life like that. I don't look at people as a return on investment, but that's that's how he was seeing it. Or that, you know, he didn't want some, you know, useless man coming in and screwing up all of his efforts, I suppose. I don't know. And I've thought about it, and I don't really like leaving negative comment. You know, it's just, if I don't like something, I'd just rather, you know, it's hard enough to get up here, but, you know, I just don't like leaving negative comment. But Free had asked me to go over there, Free Speech had asked me to go over there and take a look at it. And I probably should have just left it and just said, no, okay. But in the end, I thought, I'll just backtrack a little bit here. Years ago, my daughter was into martial arts. She was very good at it. And while she was doing that, I got a bit interested in it myself. I wasn't doing it, but I was reading about it, researching it, that sort of thing. And I came across a form of martial arts I thought was very interesting. Captain Bob might be able to help me out here with the name of it. I've forgotten the name. Captain Bob's a world-class martial artist. He's probably likely to know. But the style was, you know, normal martial arts or boxing or anything else like that. Yeah, you hit, you know, you block and you hit and you do all of this sort of stuff. Very hard on your body. Okay. Plus, people get hurt. You know, but I mean, if you block something like that and you cop a hit, or you flick a punch, you know, it's pulling your wrist out. And martial artists apparently suffer from, you know, joint problems later on in life. You know, and you know, when you're fit and flying, I mean, you know, your fists are moving it, you know, and your arms are moving it, you know, pretty quickly. But I read about this other style that's all about going with the momentum. Oh, like if somebody throws a punch like that, you sort of step and use their momentum against them. So there's no hard hitting, blocking. You don't stand in front of the punch. You step aside and sort of move with that. That was my understanding of it. I didn't bother reading paragraph 2 because it was too complicated. Okay, so that's as much as I ever did. But I liked the idea of it, and I thought I might try it here with this woman. I might actually try, you know, not in a physical sense, but actually in a mental sense. You know, I'll try it with her. So I said, your father's right. It's not a woman's job to, you know, console or comfort a man, you know, and help him through his problems or be there when the chips are down. That is not, your father's dead, right? That's what her father said. That is not a woman's job. And then I went on to said, that's mgtow's job. That's why we've come up with mgtow. You know, men should come to us men, for comfort and you know, and advice, and, you know, when things are down, you come to men. I did get a reply back from her, but she seemed a bit sort of taken aback with it. Like, you know, she didn't know what to make with it, and she sort of said, oh, I didn't explain the full story properly, but I mean, the guy's a real loser. And I replied again, I said, yeah, but that's irrelevant. You know, no, but your father was right. No, we should take care of guys like that, you know, us mgtow. And it just sort of left her dumbstruck. Left me a bit dumbstruck because I thought, yeah, maybe it is our job. And it got me to thinking, And so this is how I keep advancing the plot. Rather than say, oh, yeah, what a bloody stupid bitch and that sort of thing. No, forget that. No, I just say, give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say her father's right. Let's say she's right. Let's try and twist it around so that she ends up being right. Let's see what happens. And that's how I advance the plot all the time. Gets me into a lot of trouble, but yeah, so I look at it and thought, yeah, okay, well, it's not really a woman's job. And I think back at all the guys I've spoken to, and the women just, I don't want, women will say things like, I don't want a child as a husband, I want a husband. Or, it'll be this or that or something that, and I thought, yeah, this will be all guys, laying their problems on the table, saying, this is, can we talk about it? Really. So I was left with the impression that, it should be like, Goldilocks or whatever, and, and I think this is what her father was alluding to, that, the man just, he handles that by himself. Yeah, that's right. Comes home and, well, he used to come home and the tea would be on the table or dinner would be on the table and the kids would be all scrubbed up for bed. But that's, I think, the era he was living in and thinking about. I sort of thought about it and I thought, well, yeah, it's all well and good. Yeah, and no doubt it was like that. I remember my father was like that. But what actually happened in the 1970s was women's lib came along. This is the forerunner to feminism. With Germaine Greer, she was most outspoken about this. And, as a kid, teenager, I listened to it all, and this is when it was all happening. And without any sort of how can I put this? It was in those times, the whole women's lib thing was like, oh yeah, fair enough, yeah, and then there was no real argument to it. Women was, why do I want to be at home all day? And then because we had empathy, we'd think, yeah, okay, just at home, cleaning a house. It'd get a bit boring, wouldn't it? Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, so yeah, maybe they've got a point. And so we accepted a lot of this stuff, okay? And also, a lot of us got to thinking, well, no, if I'm in business or something like that, and I share with my wife, I won't demean her by saying she isn't intelligent enough to discuss this. No, I'll include her in it and talk about it. And, and I've got this, image of, okay, forget the coming home to, the fresh cooked meal or something. No, we're shares in this, even Steven, partners, equals, equality. That's what was sold to us. So in business, this is what this guy would have been thinking. We're equal. So I'll tell you what the problems are, and I'm looking to you to, bounce off equal. Well, I'd say, as I found out and I spent 30 years trying to make that idea work. Only in the end to be accused of being violent and probably, everything I'd actually gone against. The people that actually adopted Germaine Greer's thinking, the men, thought, no, okay, that's fair, let's look at it that way. Yeah, we're the first to be penalised. We're the first to be, kicked up the arse. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I've sort of looked at it. I've seen the development from the 70s. I think that's when it all started. It goes all the way back to the 20s, with smoking and all that sort of thing. But it really kicked in during the 70s, with the women's lib movement. And having seen the progression from there to here, and women still saying the same thing, and still really offering, not even what they used to offer. We don't even come home to a freshly cooked or, to a homemaker anymore. You come home to an empty house, that's doing nothing for anybody, I imagine. I don't know. But that was the whole thing that this brought on to me. It was the shallowness was a shock. I looked at it and just thought, well, I suppose, yeah, if you don't want to help, what is the point? And she went on to explain that, you know, that she was talking to women, it was addressed to women, and she was saying that, you know, you don't want to lose your look of calmness, do you? And you need your sleep, you need your rest for your fertility. And I thought, well, yeah, I suppose what she's driving at is, I really didn't know what she was driving at. Yeah, it seemed like, yeah, and this guy would have been upsetting her calmness, maybe. Or maybe he was keeping her, you know, up at night so she couldn't be as fertile. Perhaps, I really don't know. I have no interest at all, and less so. I mean, it was, if any video ever destroyed my interest in women, it was that one. She has a series of them. I think there was another one there. I couldn't. I'll get to, I might watch it next week. But I don't mean anything in a derogatory sense there. I was left with the feeling of what I imagined to the reality is just. Maybe what I'm trying to say is that was really what was inside my wife's brain all those years. Not that she ever said it. She never let it out. This woman did a 15-minute video and let it all out. And maybe what she's doing is saying this is how she's really going, you know, on YouTube and saying this is how women really think. Well, if somebody says nothing and just leaves it up to you to imagine, well, you can either imagine a really bad thing or you can really imagine a good thing. Well, I just always imagined that that's probably what women wanted. But what she was saying, the calm look and remaining, you know, keeping your fertility up by getting plenty of sleep, I was just gobsmacked. I just didn't know that was it. It seems what they're saying is, you know, we just get, you know, the idea is just get married, have children, and die. Except the problem is we live maybe sometimes 80 or 90, we're 80 or 90, and it's, you know, there's not a lot in what she's talking about. But I don't know, it was just, well, as I said, I was gobsmacked. I mean, I looked at it, I thought, well, you know, that should form the basis of some sort of marriage counselling, shouldn't it? Yeah, don't get married, because that's it. That's how they're thinking. You know, and it's, look, all I can say, I'll put the link, as I said, I'll put the link in the description. Go and watch it, and let me know what you think. I don't know what else to say. I'm shocked. Thanks for the idea, Free. I think it's a good one. I wouldn't go over there again if I were you. Free got a slap on the bad boy. Anyway, it's been good talking to you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.